Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel that takes you deep inside the San Francisco 49ers. I am your host, Jack Hammer, and welcome back. Right now, we just finished Labor Day weekend. Training camp is wrapped up, and the 49ers are getting ready to start their 2023 campaign on Sunday in Pittsburgh. That's right, the season opener is nearly upon us. And so what better time than now to go ahead and for me to give you my 5 bold predictions for the 49ers here in 2023. We're going to start off at the quarterback position. We talk about that quite often on this channel. Quarterbacks and the 49ers, they go hand in hand. And so we're going to start with Brock Purdy, and I'm going to say that Brock Purdy is going to reach the Pro Bowl, and he's going to throw for 4,000 yards this season. So you almost get a double dip right here on this first one with Brock Purdy. You know, you look at the 49ers quarterback spot, and they have not been good when it comes to either of those, reaching the Pro Bowl or throwing for over 4,000 yards. In fact, it's the same guy that was the last one who's done both. As far as reaching a Pro Bowl, the last time the 49ers had a Pro Bowl quarterback, that was 2002 with Jeff Garcia. As far as a 4,000-yard quarterback, that was also Jeff Garcia in the year 2000, his first full season as a starting quarterback in the NFL. You know, and you look at Brock Purdy, you look at the numbers he put up last year, just 5 regular season games, he was able to come out and put up some phenomenal numbers. Then you add in the playoffs. Between the regular season and the playoffs, Brock Purdy threw for 16 touchdowns last year, just 3 interceptions. You know, if you take his yards per attempt and you take that out over the course of a season, he should throw for about 4,120 yards, right around that range. You know, that's based on the 49ers only having 500 attempts this year, which is quite a few less than what Jeff Garcia had back in 2000 when he hit that number. In fact, if you look at where Purdy's numbers were last year in terms of his average yards per attempt, it was higher than Jeff Garcia's in that 2000 season. So he can get there. It's a matter of him being able to play a full 17 games. That's one of the biggest reasons the 49ers haven't had a quarterback hit that 4,000 yard mark since Garcia in 2000 is they just haven't had very good quarterbacks, or when they have had good quarterbacks, they either haven't thrown the ball very much or that quarterback hasn't been able to stay healthy for the entire season. So I think he's going to get over 4,000 yards. The Pro Bowl, I think you can put that there as well. If Purdy plays at the level that he played last year and does that throughout this entire season, and the 49ers are successful winning games, Brock Purdy will be named to the Pro Bowl. There's just not enough quarterbacks in the NFC that are very good to even be better than Brock Purdy and have those types of numbers and have that kind of win percentage if he's able to do that again this year here in 2023. So number 1, Brock Purdy is going to hit the Pro Bowl, and he's going to get over 4,000 yards passing. So there's your first bold prediction for the year. Now, number 2, we're going to go to the running backs, and we're going to go to Christian McCaffrey. There's been some talk this year as far as with McCaffrey, if he can become the second 49er to be able to go over 1,000 both rushing and receiving. You know, Roger Craig hit that number back in 1985. McCaffrey actually did it himself in 2019 when he was a member of the Carolina Panthers. For me, my take here, my prediction is that he will not be 1,000 running back, but he's going to hit 1,000 yards on the ground, just not receiving. You know, you look at where he is last season as a member of the 49ers, he had 8.9 yards per reception. That's the second most that he's had in his career. Even the year that he went over 1,000 yards receiving, I think it was only maybe 9.3 that year. That's his career high anyway. And you look at that year that he went over 1,000 yards receiving, it took over 100 receptions for him to do that. At his 8.9 yards per reception that he had last year, which again was second best in his career, he would have to have 113 catches this season in order to get over 1,000 yards receiving. When you look around the 49ers and you see George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, you see Deebo Samuel, all these players, all the weapons, Kyle Juszczyk, there's just not enough passes to go around to get Christian McCaffrey 113 catches this year, or over 100 even. So I don't think he's going to reach it as a receiver. I do think he'll get there as a running back. He's too good of a running back. I do think he's going to be able to average over 60 yards per game. I think it's about 62.5 right now. If you can average that over the course of a season, you're going to hit 1,000 yards. So I expect Christian McCaffrey to hit 1,000 yards as a runner, but not as a receiver. All right, so number 3. We're going to the wide receivers now. Deebo Samuel. I'm predicting that Deebo Samuel is going to lead the 49ers in receiving this year. That's right. Not Brandon Ayuk, who we've all been talking about all offseason for how good he was in training camp. But when it's all said and done, Deebo Samuel's going to be the 49ers' leading receiver this season. You know, you look at where he is right now. Yeah, he wasn't in shape last year. He wasn't very good in 2022, dealing with the contract holdout and all those things that played into it. But he's come into this season, and he's been a different guy in training camp. He's in much better shape. He looks like a much better player, much more explosive player. And the other thing that I've seen on the practice field is Kyle Shanahan getting him the ball down the field a little bit more. And I think that's one of the biggest things, you know. Other than being out of shape, when you look at Deebo Samuel, when he catches the ball down the field a little bit, that's when he's really dangerous. Yeah, he's dangerous on the screens. He's dangerous on all that short stuff. But when he gets the ball where he's running already on those, you know, like the drift route where he's coming across the middle, where he's already, you know, running with a boot kind of pass like that, where he's away from the line of scrimmage a little bit, that's when he's most explosive. You look at his numbers in 2021, when he went over 1,400 yards receiving, his average depth of target that season was 8.4. That means he was, on average, he was catching the ball 8.4 yards past the line of scrimmage. Last season, numbers go down. He's not playing as well. His average depth of target also dropped to just 4.3. That means last season when Deebo Samuel caught the ball, on average, he was just 4.3 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's not going to cut it. He's got to get back up to that 8 range, and I think we're going to see him there this season. Again, he's looked much better. Kyle Shanahan seems like he's trying to get him the ball down the field a little more. Yeah, you're going to see him get a lot of screens and those kind of things, but I do think we're going to see a higher average depth of target for Deebo Samuel this year, and I do think he's going to get closer to that 1,400 yards that he had a couple of years ago. Look for Deebo Samuel to have a big year this year. Okay, prediction number 4. We're going to take this over to the defensive side of the ball. Everybody's been talking about the bear, the little bear, the smaller bear, whatever you want to call him. Yes, that's right, Nick Bosa. And so for prediction number 4, what I'm going with is that Nick Bosa, he is going to finish as the 49ers sacks leader in 2023, despite the fact that he's going to miss at least the first 2 games of the season. Yeah, I'm predicting that he's going to miss a couple of games. You know, it's already Tuesday of the first week of the season. He's not signed. The team's going to be practicing tomorrow and get into their normal regular season routine with their Wednesday practice, Thursday. I just don't see this deal getting done in time for him to play week 1. And quite frankly, I don't see this getting done for him to be able to play even week 2. It might even drag on further than that because the 49ers are messing this up. Nick Bosa's a guy who's not going to take anything less than what he feels his value is, and they need to get him in. So he's going to miss some time. But as far as his performance, he's still going to put up his numbers. And the reason I think, one of the other reasons why he's going to lead the 49ers is, well, they don't really have anybody else that really gets after the quarterback. Clelin Ferrell, okay. Drake Jackson, okay. You know, Kerry Hyder had an 8.5 sack season one year. Austin Bryant, he's been around. I think he might have got up to 5 one year. But they don't really have anybody there that's really going to put up big numbers. Yeah, they spent a lot of money this offseason on Javon Hargrave, the defensive tackle, but here's the little thing that nobody really wants to talk about with Javon Hargrave. As good as he was last season for the Philadelphia Eagles, putting up 11 sacks, that's almost twice what his career average is. His best season prior to 2022 was in 2021 when he had 7.5 sacks. Javon Hargrave, he needs to have Nick Bosa out there to help him get these sacks that everybody thinks that they're going to get. You know, Nick Bosa helped DeForest Buckner, helped Eric Armstead with their sack totals in 2019. They need Bosa to be out there to help everybody else. Bosa's the best pass rusher on the team. He's been one of the best pass rushers in the league over the last couple of seasons with 34 sacks in 33 regular season games. Nick Bosa needs to be signed. I think he's gonna miss at least these first 2 games, and he's still going to lead the 49ers in sacks. Shoot, he could probably miss the first 6 or 7 games and still lead the 49ers in sacks when it's all said and done. So that is number 4. Nick Bosa will miss at least the first 2 games, and yet he's still going to lead the 49ers in sacks. And that brings us to the last one, number 5. Kyle Shanahan will hold on to the 10-point fourth quarter lead. That's right, you're hearing me right. You know, Kyle Shanahan, he struggled in the fourth quarter of these playoff games, particularly the Super Bowl, right? As the offensive coordinator with the Atlanta Falcons, as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers. More than 10 points in the Super Bowl when he was the offensive coordinator in Atlanta. But he also had the Super Bowl loss out in Miami against the Kansas City Chiefs with the 49ers. Hey, you can even take it to the NFC Championship game in 2021. 10-point lead opened up that fourth quarter, lost that one as well. This time around, though, I am predicting that Kyle Shanahan is going to be able to maintain that 10-point lead. And as a result, the 49ers are going to leave Las Vegas and Allegiant Stadium in February holding the Lombardi Trophy. So there you have it. I think that the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. I think that Nick Bosa is going to lead the team in sacks. I think Deebo Samuel is going to be their leading receiver. Christian McCaffrey, 1,000 yards rushing, but he's going to fall just short of that 1,000 yards receiving. So he's not going to hit the 1,000. And Brock Purdy is going to make it to the Pro Bowl and also throw for over 4,000 yards this season. So there you have it. Take it for what it's worth. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you could do me a favor, please hit that like button before you leave. If you're already watching this and you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, please. And then also, last but not least, make sure you turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss any of the updates right here on Inside the Farms with Jack Hammer. Thank you all so much. You have a great rest of your day. I look forward to talking to you soon. Take care, everybody.